red carpets and handbag stores in Rodeo Drive and stables in Hampshire. Leila flicks through all the magazines on the rack until she finds just the right one, with just the right pictures. And then she goes to the checkout, buys a packet of disposable razors and some Elastoplast, whereupon she retires to the superstore toilets. Puts the magazine over her knees, removes one blade from its casing, rolls up the sleeve of her blouse, and slowly draws the razor across her forearm. When Leila Sulaiman cuts herself, she feels like she's real. Like she's in a story. Like somewhere out there, someone wants to take a photo of her without her permission. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. When the pain from the cut begins to ebb away, Leila finds she is sitting in a toilet in Inverkeithing with blood all over herself and tears in her eyes, and she's still stuck inside the stupidest, ugliest person in a world that doesn't really exist. She throws the rest of the razors in the bin and swears to herself that she'll never do something as ugly as that, or as stupid as that, ever again. She sticks a plaster over the cut, rolls down the sleeve of her blouse, wipes the tears from her eyes, and goes back out into the store, puts the magazine back on the shelf where it belongs, and goes home. Which is what she was just about to do when Lee McAlinden arrived in the shop. The police showed us CCTV footage from the superstore on the night of the murder, and you can see Leila standing there very clearly, looking quite ugly and stupid, putting the magazine back on the shelf. And then at 10:15 p.m., a boy comes in wearing a baseball cap, unzips his fly, and shows her something inside his trousers.
Hey, Silent Leila. I've got a half bottle of 2020 down my pants. Do you want to come to the cemetery with me? I'll let you share my chips. I know they're cold, but a chip's a chip.
Leila Sulaiman thinks that going to the cemetery to drink 2020 with Stag Lee McAlinden would, on balance, be a mistake. Leila Sulaiman is a good girl. Leila Sulaiman doesn't do that sort of thing.
Come on. You know you want to.
But as Stag Lee McAlinden walks away from her, she watches him, and the way he moves through the store as though he owns the place. So when he turns to her and says,
"Are you coming or are you coming?"
Leila Sulaiman hesitates. In her heart, at this moment, she has a feeling she's only ever had twice before. Once, praying in the great mosque in Damascus, that time that she was 12, and God spoke to her and told her that she was special in the manner of one day perhaps saving the world. And the other time, in second year, when she drew her fingernails down the back of her hand during Mr. Cochrane's chemistry lesson. A feeling like someone opening a door. And now, she has it again. Now, right at this moment, looking at Stag Lee McAlinden's slight smile when he turns to her and says,
"Are you coming or are you coming?"
The CCTV footage shows Leila Sulaiman leaving the superstore with Lee McAlinden at 10:21 p.m.
Meanwhile, back at Chapel Terrace, Billy Logan is kneeling outside Jenny McAlinden's bedroom door with a pan full of burnt curry and an empty bottle of red wine. "Jenny! Jenny! Angel! I can reheat the curry. Come out here, please! Jenny, are you listening to me? Come out here now! Jenny, I've got something important to tell you. Jenny? Take on me! Take on me! Take me on! I'll be yours forevermore! And as Billy Logan sings, his song echoes down the stairwell of Chapel Terrace Flats and drifts out onto the starlit frosty night, where it floats across the town, over the railway line, up past the health centre, and near the bench, where Stag Lee is sitting right now with Leila Suleiman outlining his big idea.
I'm thinking of going into business as a pimp. I don't think there's a pimp in Inverkeithing at the moment. A pimp has to have hoes, but I would have does. As in doe a deer. Because I'm Stag Lee. Stag! S-T-A-G-G. Big and so horny. Like Bambi's dad. I drive girls mad. I think there's room for a pimp in Inverkeithing at the moment. Rowana Castledone's agreed to be one of my hoes. And so's Carrie Hunter. But I'd still be one hoe short of the full back seat. What do you say? Would you be one of my doe hoes, Silent Leila? There's lassies would give their right arms for some quality time with the stag man. Check out these abs. I'm a prize. Check that out. Check out these pecs. Go on.
Leila feels his heart thump under her hand. She feels his heart beat faster and she wonders, did I make that happen? Well, did she? No.
Lee!
It was not beauty that made Lee's heart beat faster.
Lee!
It was not Leila at all.
Lee!
It was a jilted amateur boxer with a score to settle.
Where's the ring? Where is it? Where's the bloody ring?
Don't touch me.
Fight! You think you're hard McAlinden, but you're all front. You wouldn't last 2 minutes for me. 2 minutes for me to have you wet in your pants. Get up! Fight.
Don't touch my hat.
Don't touch my hat.
Give me the hat.
Give me the hat.
Don't touch my hat. I told you not to touch the hat.
Sometime between midnight and 2 o'clock in the morning, Billy Logan felt his insides turn into blood. And at the very moment, he felt the blood begin to drain beneath him. And his legs buckled. Lee! Somewhere between midnight and 2 o'clock, Billy Logan put his hands to his stomach. His stomach felt wet and warm. Sometime between midnight and 2 o'clock in the morning, Billy Logan died. And as he died, his mind was filled with these words. You fucking cunt.
You cunt.
Cunt.
You
Cunt. You
fucking cunt.
You cunt. You
Over
fucking cunt.
and over again.
Cunt. Cunt.
Until the
Cunt.
last
Cunt.
of his
Cunt.
breath was
Fucking
gone.
cunt.
Midnight. We're shaking. We don't know what to do. What are we gonna do? Let's just stand for a bit. Let's pick up the knife. Let's take Billy's wallet out of his inside jacket pocket. Let's just go. Let's just get out of here. Let's walk quickly out of the cemetery and down onto the main road. Let's put our hoods up and keep our heads down. Let's go past the comfort furniture store and down onto the coastal path by the bay. Let's go past the shipbreaker's yard and throw the knife over the wall. Let's walk on past the quarry, through the woods to Pauline Beach. Let's go to Pauline Beach and let's make a small fire because it's cold and we're feeling a bit shaky.
Let's sit close together and hold our hands out to the fire. And let's wish that this moment would never end because now, at last, we're in a story. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Leila and Lee probably sat by the fire till just before dawn on Saturday the 23rd, when they would have seen the lights of the first freighter slipping into the Forth on the bay. And Lee would have wished he was on it. He would have thought about swimming out into the still water and climbing aboard to become a sailor or something. And then what? He probably wouldn't have known what then. He would have turned to Leila and said something like,
I'll maybe go up north. Maybe go and see my dad.
Leila would have supposed you should just go home.
You going to go to the cops?
Leila would have pondered the idea of telling the whole truth and nothing but the...
She'd only have to talk.
What are you going to do?
Leila probably would have supposed she could open her bedroom door quietly and sneak into bed. She'd get away with it. She could go to school and pretend as if nothing had changed. Leila probably thought that's what she ought to do. But then something must have happened. Leila saw something moving in the scrubby woods behind the beach. Something alive in the dark, and she watched as a roe deer stepped out of the woods onto the beach in front of her. The deer sniffed and turned and looked at her. Deer and girl, eyes locked for an instant. Two worlds trembling on the edge of stillness, and then, silent as a thought, the deer stepped back into the woods and vanished just as if she'd never been there at all. Deer, beach, fire, Lee. At that moment, Leila Sulaiman knew that if she went home, she would feel so ugly and so stupid, she might actually have to throw herself off the Fourth Road Bridge.
And Lee would have looked at her and seen her smiling, and he would have thought to himself how surprisingly pretty she was, which he'd never really noticed before, and so he would have maybe said something like, "Do you want to come with me? Do you want to come up north?"
Yes.
And Lee would have told her that he had something he had to do first, and he would have told her to meet him at the station in time for the first train north.
And Leila would have gone back to the superstore and bought a 3-pack of pants, some toothpaste, a toothbrush, and a bag of apples. Everything she needed to step into a new world. What would Lee have had to do first?
He probably would have gone to his mother and sat beside her bed and said something like, "Mum, I'm sorry. I stabbed Billy. I didn't mean to do it, but I did. I'm sorry. Mum, I'm going to go up north. I'm going to see my dad. Something like this. He'll know what to do. Here's some money. Don't worry about me. Will you be okay? Will you be okay just for a few days? Mum!"
And if Jenny McAlinden could have screamed, she probably would have let out a scream that would have followed her son out the door and down Chapel Terrace, where it would have chased him running all the way down to Platform 1, where it would have drained out the noise of the Perth train clattering into the station.
But Jenny McAlinden wasn't able to scream.
So as he left,
She just said,
"Lee?"
which he wouldn't have heard as he shut the door behind him.
"7 in the morning, and we're waiting at the station. Plastic bag. Commuters all around us. Can't stop shivering. Maybe he's not going to come. Apples, pants, toothpaste. Maybe the whole thing never happened. Maybe Billy Logan has sucked the blood back up into himself, brushed the dust off his suit, gone to work at the furniture store just like normal. Razors. Maybe we don't exist. We need razors. Maybe we're not here. We need magazines. Maybe we're not in a story at all. Maybe nobody's imagining what it's like to be us. Maybe we're just sitting in our stupid, ugly shoes on Inverkeithing station platform with everybody looking at us, thinking, stupid, ugly, stupid, ugly. 10 minutes past 7. In 5 minutes exactly, our mother will wake up. She will open our bedroom door. She will see our bed unslept in. She will see the room is empty and she will say, "Leila? More? Closer! Heat! Now! You!" The man in the kiosk is looking at us. It's too late. The Inverness train clatters into the station. Where is he?
Leila!
There. Walking down the platform like he owns it.
Leila, are you coming or are you coming?
Suddenly, everything is real again. Suddenly, everything's all right.
This is the part of the story where Leila and Lee run away to the Highlands and nearly die. 100 years from now, people will tell this bit, and when they do, it'll go like this. They
Take the Perth Express, then change for Inverness. They'll get out of this mess.
The guard shouts, "Tickets, please!"
Hide in the lavatories. Avoid the fare with ease. All right. Maybe everything is all right.
My dad was a gangster.
Lee's holding a postcard.
He was the king of Glasgow. He made money and he never got caught.
It's a picture of the Highlands, mountains, forest, loch. In the middle of the picture, a house.
That's his house. Must be about 50 rooms. He's got his own boat, he's got his own lake, got his own forest, got his own mountain.
The postcard's soft from the amount of times it's been held.
He sent this to my mom a few years ago. She keeps it in her pants drawer and I found it one day when I was looking for fags. Dear Jenny, I don't know if this will reach you.
I don't suppose you're in the same place anymore. Maybe you're married. I've gone back up north like I always said I would. Ha ha.
Ha ha.
I'm well set up here, and nobody knows who I am, so nobody bothers me, which is good. Here's some money for the boy.
Don't try to get in touch. Dan. Dan. That's my dad's name. Blackwaterside, that's where we're going. Blackwaterside, Nurkin-Lequeue. Nur means near.
All right.
All right.
Maybe everything is all right. 3 hours stuck on a train. These hills all look the same. Layla's still glad she came.
Lee's bored. He wants some fags. Goes nicking from handbags. Works out his top 10 shags. All right. Maybe everything's all right. Inverness. They find a place to stop. The doorway of Top Shop. Lee puts his hand down Layla's top.
Night's black. Too cold to sleep. Layla thinks she's in too deep. As you sow, so shall you reap.
How come you don't say much, Silent Layla? How come you don't speak?
I don't speak because most people aren't worth speaking to.
Did you always not speak, or did you just stop one day?
I just stopped one day. I was sitting on the wall at school and Mr. Hopton passed me. And he said, "Everything all right, Layla?" And I looked at him and he said it again, "Everything all right?" And he smiled at me. And I like Mr. Hopton, so I thought, I don't know, is everything all right? It seemed such a complicated question. I didn't know and I didn't answer, and eventually he just said, "Oh well, good." And I realized people hear what they want to hear. It doesn't matter what you say. So I just stopped. I just stopped bothering.
What about school?
I do my work. I don't cause any trouble. Teachers have far worse problems to deal with than me.
Why did you come with me, Silent Layla?
Because when I'm with you, I feel like I'm real. Like I'm in a story and people are imagining what I think, which is a feeling I only ever get from cutting myself. And once, this time in the great mosque in Damascus, when I thought that I met God.
Of course she didn't really say that. She didn't really say any of that.
She hardly even thought it. She was too busy looking at him in the soft light of the Top Shop window display and wishing that he would lift up his shirt again so she could put her hand on his heart.
This is what actually happened.
How come you don't say much, Silent Layla? How come you don't speak? Did you always not speak, or did you just stop one day? What about school? Just silent, Why did you come with me, Silent Layla?
First train at 6:15 takes them to Aknasheen.
Layla's in a lovely dream. Best place she's ever been.
Lee makes friends with a local Ned. Hot wires, an old moped.
Leila wishes she was dead.
Dump the bike in Kinlochew. Not quite sure what to do. Hey! Hey, mister! Do you know how to get to Black Waterside from here?
Lee's holding the postcard. Black Waterside, no Kinlochew. No means near.
Next Glen, there's no road in. You got a 4x4 or something?
Moped.
The path's over the hill. It's some walk mine. You'll better wait off till tomorrow. Wait, the keeper comes into town for supplies on a Friday. Maybe he'll give you a lift up in a Land Rover. We'll walk.
Frozen halfway up the hill. Walking's not their greatest skill. Bleeding feet soon start to kill. 4 hours up a muddy track. Snow blowing at their back. Lee says,
Fuck it! Let's go back. Not coach, don't know which way to go. Both walking really slow.
Lee falls down in the snow.
I'm cold.
All right. All right.
Maybe. Maybe.
Everything is all right. Leila's too tired to try. No energy left to cry. Sit down and wait to die.
Cold.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
What the hell was that?
Frank, the keeper, out stalking deer. He's seen them in the mist. What the hell are you doing up here? Didn't you read the sign at the path head? No walking. Christ, look at the state of you. No boots, no waterproofs. Are you trying to get yourself killed?
We're lost, mister.
Lost. You're certainly lost.
Meet Frank,
Look at the mess you're in. You must be freezing. Take some of this.
also known as
What is it?
Drunk
Tea?
Frank.
Whiskey. It'll warm you up. Frank tells Leila and Lee to follow him. He leads them up the path in the snow and mist, mouth still burning from the bite of the whiskey, and shaking with a wet cold gone deep into their bones. They scramble down a rocky slope, slithering and skittering and sending stones the size of fists down into the mist. Frank stops on a patch of grass, below a crag. He kneels. Here.
A dead deer.
You're lucky I was out stalking today. I wouldn't normally be out on the hill a day like today, but it's coming to the end of season and I've got hinds to cull.
Big red hole in the deer's head.
Here,
Two black glassy eyes looking up at them.
give us a hand.
They drag the still warm beast 100 yards or so up the hill to the hidden entrance of a small cave at the foot of some crags. Frank pulls the deer inside the cave, into the shelter, out of the wind.
Sit down.
Frank takes out a large knife and kneels down by the beast and stabs the deer into its soft white stomach. Then he pulls the knife up its body and with 3 sharp tugs, he opens her up.
Here, get warm. Put your hands inside.
What?
Inside the wound. Blood's still hot. Guts warm your hands.
The wound looks black and it stinks.
Just do it.
They kneel and put their hands in the hot, wet stomach cavity of the dead hind. The steam rises off Frank's jacket from the heat of his body. They notice the hot iron smell of blood rising from the deep red wound, sucking at their hands.
I always keep a few supplies up here. Oat cakes, matches, sweets, a couple of bottles. It's my bolt hole. Keepers have been using it for years. It'll be dark soon. I'll take you down the hill. Get you some dry gear. Then we'll work out how to get you home.
I don't want to go home, mister. I've come here to find my dad.
Who's your dad?
Dan McAlinden.
You won't find Dan McAlinden here, son.
How not?
Dan McAlinden's dead. There's sweat and snow melt running down the keeper's face that makes him look like he's crying, but he isn't. There's snow melt running down Lee's face too. Lee doesn't say anything. Leila listens to the wind and the snow and the breath from their bodies, and she finds Lee's hand amongst the blood and grips it.
Lee takes his hand away, wipes his face.
Blood on his face.
You're lucky I found you. Another couple of hours and you'd have been dead.
Drunk Frank took us down the hill in the Argo, the dead hind lolloping across our knees, its eyes glass staring up at us. The jeep bumped down the track, off the hill, through the woods, and coming out of the trees we see the house. A big old place with turrets and towers, just like in the postcard.
Is this my dad's house? Was this his place?
That's right, son.
In the hanging shed, they stood amongst the bodies of the culled hinds. Frank laid out the beast for its butchery. First he sawed off the head, then the legs. Then he cut open the breastbone and took out the heart and lungs and liver and kidneys. Then he hung the beast up with the others and hosed it down with cold water. Then Frank walked right up to me. He was holding something in his hand.
Here.
Something warm and wet.
Present.
I held the beast's heart still warm. I've never seen a heart of anything before. I held it a little away from me.
What's the matter? Scared of a bit of meat and blood? Ha!
Frank laughed. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. You try drawing a razor across your arm, laughing man, and then tell me that I'm scared of meat and blood.
Veggie, are you?
I took the heart up to my mouth and I bit into it. Tore a scrap off. Swallowed it. I wiped the blood from my mouth. Frank laughed again. He took the heart from me and threw it in the bin with the rest of the pluck. Lee looked at me. I smiled at him. Frank looks at us.
Can you work?
Maybe.
You seem to be in trouble. I don't know what trouble it is, but it must be pretty bad to send you up a mountain in the middle of winter. I could take you down to the cop shop in Inverness, but I'm busy. I've got a cellar of full chops and 30 hinds to cull before the first paying guest comes.
How much an hour?
Nothing an hour.
That's blackmail.
That's the deal.
Frank gives Lee the big knife.
There's 6 hinds eating hung, skinned, and the pluck taken out of him. You've seen how to do it.
As Frank walked away, Lee threw a curse at him. But I noticed something. Something about the way Frank walked. He was only the keeper of Blackwater Side, but drunk Frank, he walked through it as though he owned the place.
This was supposed to be my dad's mansion.
We slept that night in the Gillies caravan.
My dad was supposed to sort things out.
I lay on my bunk in jeans and a jumper under a thin downy that smelt of sweat.
I was thinking maybe a jacuzzi, maybe, a room, a double bed.
The small electric heater made an orange light.
Maybe even some drugs, maybe some girls, maybe some booze.
Outside the caravan window, I could see the black wood.
Because my dad was the king of Glasgow.
A full yellow moon made the trees look cast in gold.
My dad was hard as stone.
Yellow moon made Lee's face seem cast in gold.
This was supposed to be the lap of luxury. The lap, the very lap.
Yellow moon made a glint of gold in Lee's eyes.
Are you cold, Silent Leila? Come in here with me. Come on. Do it. Get warm. Bodily warmth. I'm going to make you speak, Silent Leila. One day, I'm going to make you speak, and the first words out of your mouth are going to be, "Thank you, Lee, for that fine orgasm."